Okay, so welcome everybody. Though we haven't been talking for the last half hour, right? But I do have, it's a little teabag tag that I thought was interesting to consider for our theme. And the quotation is, acceptance is the key to peace. So that's interesting because you think about acceptance. Well, what about accepting things that are negative? And, you know, that question came into mind for me. And even things that are negative, if they're in the sphere of your experience or even beyond your experience, accepting that it is what it is will allow you to not resist. So this is another word for this would be non-resistance, which we use in yoga quite a bit when you work with the yamas and the niyamas and the philosophy of yoga. So I think it's more of a non-resistance to what is allows you to stay peaceful. So if that makes sense to you, we'll just get started. Non-resistance, the resistance itself to me seems like having an argument with yourself. It just feels that way. So non-resistance is a form of letting go and allowing yourself to stay in your peaceful state and your joy. Because if we're in our joy, then we're going to attract more happy events into our lives. So we'll sit tall and center here. If you want to bring your hands into Bhu Mudra, just bring your first two fingers onto the ground, connecting with Earth Mother, Gaia, appreciating her providing a space for us to live and grow. So just letting go of anything that's on your mind, just let your mind empty out a little bit here. And as I think about practicing yoga and where non-resistance would be interwoven is accepting where you're at with your yoga practice and allowing yourself to be okay, not to fight it, but just to perfect and work towards a more positive experience. So if you'll bring your, excuse me, palms in together into Anjali Mudra, we'll breathe to attune to breath, reaching up, releasing as you exhale. 3 times around. And then just relax your palms on your knees for a moment. Even after just 3 deep breaths, I can feel endorphins starting to flow, relaxation washing over me. So it's not like it has to take a long time. So I'd like to do our Tai Chi ritual prayer. So if you'll come into standing now, we'll just, we'll repeat it 3 times to further ground and to call in love, light, and power. So just standing comfortably and then bringing hands over your torso in front, starting with a full deep breath. Breathing out, bend your knees, reach down. I call forth the unconditional love, light, and power of the earth now for our highest good. I call forth the unconditional love, light, and power of the heavenly forces now for our highest good. I call forth the unconditional love, light, and power of the earth now for our highest good. I call forth the unconditional love, light, and power of the heavenly forces now for our highest good. I call forth the unconditional love, light, and power of the earth now for our highest good. And I call forth the unconditional love, light, and power of the heavenly forces now for our highest good. Bringing hands back in, just being with that invocation, allowing it, opening your receptivity, absorbing. And then release. And let's come into a standing twist just to loosen up our spine and get some movement in. Remember to lift your outside heel. And come back into center. Just feet comfortably apart, hip width is fine. Breathing, arms up overhead for a forward bend. Breathing, just bend forward in your hips. Soften your knees, stretch out in your spine. You can rest your torso on your thighs. Let your head dangle and rest. And then straighten your knees and lift up. Bend your knees, lower down. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. Now a reverse swan, arms out to the side. Breathe and push the floor away, arms up overhead. And palms in over your heart. Then just bring your hands onto your hips. We're going to work on our piriformis so that we strengthen that muscle and into our glutes. So standing tall, breathe in, reach up through your crown. As you breathe out, shift the weight over onto your right foot and focus on a spot because we're going to balance on one foot. Just take that left leg out to the side and pulse about 10 times. And bring it down. Bring it out once again. Pulse 15 times. and bring it down. Breathe it in. Switching sides now. Shift the weight to your left. Bring out your right leg. 10 pulses. Pulse 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Bring it in. Breathe. Shift the weight 15 times. Pulse. See if you can go a little higher. And release. And now just bring your left ankle over your right knee, reach for the floor, bend that supporting leg and reach, and just come into your four square. So press your hips back, flex the foot that's crossed over your thigh. You can use your hands, your fingertips for support, but bring your chest a little closer to that leg, that bent knee. And let it go. We'll come back up into standing. Breathe. And soften your knees. Shift the weight over to your left. Cross the right leg over. Reach for the floor. We don't have to worry about balance so much this way. Although I've got to reposition my ankle here. There we go. Okay. So stretch in your four square. Flexed right foot. Press, lengthen in your spine. All right, and let that foot down. Walk your hands forward, your feet back. We'll come into a plank. Give a nice stretch for our calf muscles. And to increase circulation and to strengthen our arms a little bit, some mini push-ups. Make them as big or small as you wish, but let's do 10 to start. And feel the sensation. Now let your knees drop. Let the tops of your feet drop and pull into a puppy stretch. Stretch out your shoulders now. Press the sternum towards the floor. Lengthen in the spine and the shoulders, opening the joint. All right. And then turn the toes under. We'll press up into downward facing dog. And just take your hips side to side as you press your heels into the ground. And let's walk our feet forward in between our palms. Bend your knees, stoop down, and come down sitting for a spinal rock. Hands under your knees. Give our backs a nice massage here. And you can let's rock on the side of your spine, on the ribs. If you tilt over a little bit, come back to center. And this time we'll rock and press up into half shoulder stand. Press up onto your shoulders a little bit more if you can. And then drop your hips right into your palms. Let your legs relax overhead. And then start to shake your legs, to kick. Getting our organs to reposition in natural state. And optional, if you want to come all the way into plow, bring your feet overhead, flex your feet. Keep your hands supporting your low back until your feet reach the floor. You can come up a little higher on your shoulders as well. To complete the plow, interlace your fingers. Extend your arms out and turn your palms down. That's going to help press the hips further towards your face. To come out, bring your hands back onto your hips. Lift your legs up. Hip bones in your palms. Bend your knees. Try to lift your chin. Release your arms down onto the mat and use your core muscles to lower down. Bring your hands under your hips. Extend your legs up. Flex your feet. Press your heels up. Bring your legs in a little closer. Now bend your left knee. Bring the foot down onto the floor. Bring your right leg down. Turn the toes out for our psoas release. Slide the foot over a few inches and then start your leg lifts, 10 of them, only as high as the bent knee. All right, now bring that right knee in towards your chest, arms out to the side, palms down, press down on your foot, the left foot and both arms, and lift your hips and come over towards the left hip. Stretch the left leg out and come into your knee down twist. Relax and let go. Here's a good place for non-resistance. Acceptance. This is where I'm at. This is where my body is capable of going right now. And as I relax, my body relaxes more. Now bring your knee towards your left arm. Bring it up towards your chest. Your back will come down onto the floor, but take that right knee out to the side, still bent, and let it circle around 2 or 3 times. Lubricating the hip joint. Now reverse your circles. All right, now place your right foot on the floor. You can reposition yourself on your mat if you need to. Bring your hands underneath your hips. Slide your left foot out, turn the toes out, and your leg lifts, 10 of them. Good. Okay, now bring that left knee in towards the chest. Take your arms out to the sides, palms down. Press down on your right foot and both arms. Lift your hips and turn them over to the right. Stretch your right leg out and allow that left leg to come down into your knee down twist. Remember to turn your head opposite. Breathe and relax. Now bring your left knee up towards your right arm. Bring it up towards your chest and start your circle. Your sacrum will come down onto the floor. Circle your leg around, maybe 3 times. Reverse. All right. Now bring both feet onto the floor, hip width apart. So your hip bones, your knees, and your ankles and feet are all aligned. Bring your arms to your sides, palms down, stretch out the back of your neck. We've got to make an adjustment here. There we go. The knot on my tie was right at the back of my head and ooh, uncomfortable. Okay, so press down in your feet, your arms. Pause and breathe. Press down in your low back. And then lift your hips up into bridge pose or half bridge. We'll start with half bridge. So just a straight line from your knees to your throat. Keeping the knees aligned with your ankles and hips. Press down with your arms. That's going to help you support your hips with your ribs and spine. Now press firmly with your arms, press firmly with your left foot and lift your right leg up and reach. Now some pulses here. Lower lift, lower lift, lower lift, pulse, 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 pulse. Take the leg out to the right and just swing it back down into half bridge. Bring the left leg in, lift it up, lower lift, lower lift, lower lift, pulse, 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 pulse. And take the leg out to the left, bring it in, into half bridge. Lower down, bring your knees into your chest Lift your head and come back down. Arms at your sides for full bridge. Breathe. Lift your hips, press up, press down in your shoulders. Interlace your fingers and roll side to side. Bring your arms under you more. Make little pillows with your shoulder blades. Press down in your arms and let that help propel you into a lift. Lift. Notice your throat. Press your arms and shoulders firmly into the mat. Knees are aligned. Lift a little higher. Excellent for your hips, sacrum, throat chakra. Lift a little higher. Breathe. And release your hands. Release your shoulder blades. Roll down and bring your knees in to your chest. Bring your head up to meet your knees, kind of like child's pose, only you're on your back. Let's see how we are. Okay. And then hands underneath your legs. We're going to kick up and come up into standing. Just come towards the front end of your mat. In Tadasana. Good posture. Shoulders circle around after the half bridge and full bridge. Reverse. All right, arms up overhead. Interlace fingers. Bring your hands into Kali Mudra, so just the fingertips are pointing up. Reach, lift up, out of your hips, out of your ankles. Press back, opening the shoulder, taking a breath. Soften both knees and take your left leg back into warrior one. Bring your hands down over your heart, still in Kali Mudra. Deepen your pose. Come over into prayer twist, over your right leg. Come back to center. Lift. Bring arms up overhead, pull back, inhale, step it in. And other side, reaching up through your fingertips, taking a breath. Soften your knees, reach the right leg back. Warrior one. Keep reaching up. You can also stretch to the back to get an arch. Great for the psoas muscles and the groin, the thighs. And then bring your hand slowly down over your heart center. Turn and we'll come into a prayer twist. Hands still in your mudra. So points to be aware of is to press through the right heel, press against the left leg, twist. Slowly unwind, press back up, arms overhead. Pull back in the front leg, inhale, step it in, bring palms over your heart. Kali Mudra. Okay. Balance pose. So you don't want to be on the thickest part of your mat if you have them overlap like I do. All right, so starting in Tadasana, eagle pose, Garudasana. Garuda is eagle. So lift in the front of your body, lower and lengthen in the back. A slight hinge forward in your hips. Arms out to the side, breathe. Swing them in, right arm underneath the left. And wrap your arms around and lift back up. Taking a breath. Now focus on a spot to help you balance. Focus. Taking a breath. Soften both knees. Shift the weight over to your right leg and lift the left leg up and over. If it'll wrap around, fine. If not, you can just touch the leg or the toes can touch the floor. Just whatever you need right now. The more you bend, the more you'll be able to get that foot around and wrapped. Nice straight back. Prepare to unwind. Unwind the legs. Release the arms. So good for the shoulders. But you can shake them out if you want to. And we'll begin for the other side. So I'm wondering how that went, because I started out giving you the cues to bring your right arm under. So your right arm under should be your right leg over. And I think I misdirected you there. So, all right. So this time, take in your breath. Hinge forward, bring your arms out, breathe again. Left arm under the right. And lift. Let's give it a stretch. Lift your elbows up and lower down. Up and down. Now hold them in the down position. Taking a breath. Bend both knees and shift the weight over. I'm going to say your right leg. Focus on your spot. Soften both knees. And wrap around as soon as you're able. And prepare to unwind. Unwind your legs. Unwrap your arms, shake them out. All right. Now just come down sitting on your mat. Be an easy pose just for a few breaths. Non-resistance. Acceptance is the key to peace. Resting your mind. Now holding knees with your palms, lift up through your crown, lift your sternum, bring your shoulder blades down, come into an arch. Now come back to neutral spine, taking another breath. And as you exhale, round your back, roll your spine down onto the mat. Let your arms drop, turn your palms up, and just bring the soles of your feet together for 3 breaths. Let your knees relax. Roll your hips under, shoulder blades. Let your knees relax open for 3 long breaths. Now slide both feet out, straightening your legs, and then separate your feet and let your low back relax down into the mat. Shoulders relax, abdomen, allowing the breath to be natural. Relax your jaw, your tongue. Let go of any holding. Let go again. Now let go more. Let go a little bit more. There's always room for more relaxation. Acceptance. The key to peace. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om. Coming back now to 3D, the physical duality. Unless you're in a higher dimension, but at least the physical, aware of the physical. You can be in more than one dimension at one time. So feel your body resting in surrender to relaxation. And start to bring the tiniest moves into your hands, just little soft movements like waves. And then open your hands and squeeze your fingers and open and squeeze. Start to bring movement into your toes and ankles. Slide your feet together and lift your knees to your chest. Come to one side and press up into sitting. I'm going to recommend Kali Mudra once again, just interlacing all but your index fingers. Thumbs are side by side and point your fingertips down towards the ground. The pose of release, of letting go and rebirth. And then just bring your hands up into Anjali Mudra, thumbs touching your sternum, your heart center. And then release. Okay, bring them back. Namaste. I had remembered something my teachers taught me during the meditation, and now I'm back here and I can't remember what it was. So it had to do with our theme, though, around acceptance. I can tell you, though, one thing they taught me was to resist is to ask for more of the same. When we resist, it creates more. So resistance is futile. All right. Thank you so much for being here.